back to another episode of the Horny Football Podcast. Joining me this evening, we have Aaron, we have Ushin, and we have Rob. Gentlemen, looking forward to Gameweek 12 of the Premier League. We're going to start at the Molineux, where Wolves are at home to Tottenham Hotspur. Wolves have been on a decent little run of late. They won against City and a draw against Aston Villa and Newcastle at home. So, looking at last weekend's games, Tottenham against Chelsea, they lost 4-1, but they also, more importantly, they lost quite a few influential players. Romero suspended. Van de Ven looks like a hamstring injury, which could be out for a couple of weeks. And James Maddison, I don't actually know the update on James Maddison quite yet, but he came off pretty early with an injury. We'll go with you for that one. This could be a tricky game for Spurs.
Definitely, when you're missing three of your key components to the start of the season they've had with, the centre-back partnership, and then Maddison, who's been a revelation for them since he signed. As you said, I don't think anyone really knows the extent of Maddison's injury. Maybe it was just precaution because he is quite liable to get injuries because he's made of Weetabix. But yeah, if Romero, fucking the stupidity, and on top of that too, they're missing Udogie as well, or Udogie as well for this game.
Udogie as well, yes.
So they're missing 4 players. So look, if I was Wolves, I'd be happy. I'd be happy now. You're coming up against this Spurs, not the one prior to this Chelsea game.
Yeah. The only thing maybe that might stand for Spurs, obviously this game aside, but in the long term, they do have the international break coming up after this week, so they'll have a couple of weeks off, get these players back to some moderate fitness. Obviously, Romero will be out for probably 3 games. But Rob, just with you now, Wolves are going to be licking their lips at this game. This is their opportunity to kind of maybe go on, especially after losing last weekend to Sheffield United. This is their chance to get some more points on the board at home.
Yeah, they definitely don't fear any team at home anyways. Never mind now injury-stricken. And finally, after losing the Spurs team, it's a bigger game for Spurs, of course, because if they go and lose 2 out of being unbeaten, it's a very Spursy thing to do, just to slide down. I know it's to do with suspension and injuries now all of a sudden, but it's just such a Spursy thing to do. Like, stupid tackle by Romero, stupid tackles by Udogie, Van der Ven unlucky to get injured, and same with Maddison. But the 2 defenders, stupid tackles. Wolves definitely, it's a great chance for them. And they know as well straight away that Tottenham are not going to give up that high line regardless of what's happening. So they'll always have a chance, especially with Chan in front, or Wang, sorry, not Chan.
It's Chan, yeah.
It's racist.
Yeah, it is both. Wang and Chan.
Korean guy up front.
Korean guy up
front.
Not racist.
How is that racist there?
I know, yeah.
We moved.
He said his 2 names.
I forgot it was Chan, or it wasn't. Yeah, I thought it was Chan, but I thought it wasn't. If they can just kind of keep them shut up for a while, there's going to be chances for Wolves. Anyways, it'll be definitely a really interesting game.
Yeah. Aaron, speaking of that, the high line Tottenham are playing, was that just absolute stupidity for Ange Postecoglou, or was it maybe he's too cocky? They were in the game relatively enough at 1-1, even with 9 men. Even when Chelsea got their second goal, Eric Dyer scored an unbelievable goal, was offside, but Spurs were still knocking on the door, but he just maintained this ridiculous high line, halfway line, 8 players on the halfway line. And then Chelsea walked in with a couple of 2 goals and won the game 4-1.
Yeah, I don't think they needed to be so high, but to be fair to them, it nearly did work on multiple occasions. So if they did get a goal when it was 1-1, it would have been a lot closer. They would have then defended. They were probably desperate to get the goal first and then go from there, or even afterwards try and get the draw back to keep the unbeaten run. But yeah, I don't know. When you concede the first one, maybe then start defending a bit more and then not allow it to, counter from there, but not allow it to go to 4, so.
Yeah.
I
just want to touch real quickly on, we talked about these little moments, VAR, in games. That Son goal that was disallowed for 2-0 early on in the game, that was such a game changer.
Could you imagine what
it would have been? It would have been a
was
completely. If it was 2-0, it would have been a completely different game. Chelsea were absolutely under the cosh. Could have ended up 4 or 5, probably 6-0 for Spurs, but does that offside change the game, and then Romero gets a red, and then it kind of just snowballs from there a little bit?
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, I think it was after that goal was disallowed for offside, and like that's minimal, like that's so minimal. But I think it was the Adoge challenge, the 2 foot. Like, let's be fair, that was that was very close to being a red. That I think that was the
Oh
turning
yeah,
point, because up until that point, yes, Spurs were all over them. And they could have, like, it could have, and it wasn't even that. There was a few shots as well that they missed. So it could have been 3 or 4 in the first 20 minutes. It was crazy, crazy start to a game.
yeah,
But
yeah.
the turnaround then, Dougie getting the yellow card, very lucky not to be a red. Then Romero getting the red, stupid, stupid challenge going in like that. Um, and then keeping on Dougie on, like, was that the right call by Ange to keeping him on at halftime? At the start, it looked like he started the second half. It looked like it was a good call because he's playing well.
Yeah.
But he made that challenge in the 56 minutes or whatever it was. It was a needless challenge. They're down to 9 men for most of the game, but they held off Chelsea up until, was it the 80th
80,
minute or
I
something?
think it was the 88 first or
Yes,
82nd, I think it was.
and they got 3 shite goals, same, but all from the high line. So the 3
Yeah.
due goals, or 2 at least out of the 3. So look, there's serious and unfortunate events, but at the same time too, it's utter clumsiness by some of the Spurs defenders as well. So
Yeah.
they allowed Chelsea back in the game. Really, they were completely on top. Chelsea hadn't a clue what was going on. Like, they were like headless chickens. And look, just a moment in time completely switches the turn of events of the game, and now we all know what happened by the end of it.
All right, so jumping into predictions for this coming week. Aaron, we'll start with you. Like we said, Wolves at home in the last couple of games, they turned over Man City, got good draws against Aston Villa and Newcastle. And yeah, Spurs are in a bit of bother right now. So what's your prediction?
Yeah, perfect time to play them. I would say 2-1 to Wolves.
All right, okay. Oisin, with that, yeah, do you agree?
I think it'll be 2. If Maddison is out, 2-0 Wolves.
Yeah. And Rob?
I think it'll be 3-1 Wolves.
Yeah, I'd probably, you know what, like, I think Wolves at home would be a tough game, so I think probably a score draw. I'm going to probably 1-1 in this game as well. All right, next up then to the Emirates. Arsenal will be hosting Burnley. On paper, this looks a pretty winnable game for Arsenal. Aaron, starting with you, Arsenal going to be looking to bounce back this weekend against Burnley, especially after what happened last week against Newcastle.
Yeah, and they will. Like, they're going to take what happened to them last weekend, and they're going to take it to Burnley 100%. I think they'll win fairly well. Burnley, they seem to be coming into a small bit of, I don't know, you can't really call it form, but they seem to be getting a little bit stronger. But like, Arsenal are just they're gonna take what happened to them this weekend, and they're just gonna
use it as
out
fire.
their frustration. Take out their frustration on Burnley now.
Yeah,
100%.
what was that, Rob?
Gonna rape the arse of them.
Yeah, speaking of Burnley, Rob, yeah, like Aaron touched on it, against Palace, they actually played pretty well. They lost ultimately 2-0, but they played pretty well against Palace. Like, I just feel that Company, like, this is a bad time to kind of start to play Arsenal, especially away at the Emirates. He'll need a performance.
Yeah, but the thing is with playing Palace, they do let you play well against them, and they'll just beat you anyways. Like, they're not. It's rare Palace to win a game while, like, after playing like fucking Real Madrid or something. They're just a really dodgy team. Like, but yeah, if there was ever a time for Company to help out City, it'd be now. And get a dodgy result at the Emirates for Burnley. But I just don't see it happening. I don't think there's enough form in the world for Burnley to go to the Emirates and get a result.
Oisin, Rob was talking about Burnley needing a win here at the Emirates. They might take some inspiration from the 2020 season where Burnley won 1-0 at the Emirates. But yeah, you can definitely see Arsenal winning probably 4-5-0, hopefully.
Yeah, they won't get on from this game. They're 2 different teams from 2 different eras as such. I mean, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. If Arsenal aren't up by 3 goals at halftime, we should all be shocked. That should be counted as a disappointment. Burnley are doing okay recently, but they're nowhere near the league of Arsenal. And I think Odegaard will be back by that game as well. So
Hope so, yeah.
Yeah, so now I can't see anything other than an Arsenal win, and a good win too.
I'm going to you about the goal that won Newcastle game last week against Arsenal. Full of controversy. 3 checks, nothing overruled. What are the thoughts?
I think the goal probably should have stood. I not probably should have. I think it's hard to disallow it. If you're going to disallow it for the ball out of play, there's no angle to which they can overturn the on-field call. So, like we've seen all the pictures of the ball being out in one picture, and then you look down on it and you can see a slice of the sphere over whatever. How Japan beat Germany, that fucking how little of the ball was on that time. I don't understand why the Premier League, as big as it is, the biggest league in the world, doesn't have that line, that view that the World Cup had. If they did, different situation, we could all wipe away saying the ball was in, blah blah, whatever. But there's no reason for it to be overturned. So, and then you move on to the challenge. Then I don't think that's a foul. Realistically, I just don't. So, in my opinion, I think the goal should have stood because there's no way you can overturn it. I think. Sorry, no.
That's fair enough opinion. No, so I was fairly, I've fairly been angry about it in the group chat the last couple of days, and I still am. But
barely.
I think I think it's just kind of the way they go about it, like VAR. They should be able to use the angles that they have to make decisions. Like essentially, the foul. I think the foul is a foul, 100%. We've seen it like tonight being given in the Napoli game. Same sort of thing. 2 hands in the back. It's a foul. I feel like, I totally agree with the lines. Like, how can you have goal line technology? You have like all these VAR cameras, but not one on the end lines where it's actually important. Definitely something needs to change, 100%. Oisín, do you want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, like I agree with you, but I don't agree in Aaron in the sense that like all the decisions were correct. I actually thought Joe Linton's push on the Gabriel was a foul. I don't agree that the ball was over the line because it's inconclusive. There's no camera angle can support it was out. Just as much as it can support that as in it's kind of a 50-50. I think Joe Linton's push was a foul. It was 2 hands in the back with force.
Gabriel's head is already going down to header the ball.
But there is a reverse angle from where the ball came in, and his hands are all right before like the ball even passes Raya. Like he already has his hands on him. Yeah, he's already he's already.
But it's not like you don't. It's not like that goes unseen.
But like how many 99 times out of 100, it's given as a foul. Like and this time it's just not.
The one thing I wanted to say about the goal, the ball going over the line, that I was so curious about, and it was only till the day before yesterday I saw it, was remember Rashford's ball when we were debating about being out against Brighton.
Yeah.
That there was the camera angle show from that. It was the same area as such of the pitch, where you could see directly down the line, more or less. Why didn't they have that angle for the goal?
Yeah,
but like
why? It just makes no sense. Yeah.
I couldn't. Why is one camera all the way more over to the right, and then the one for Rashford, for example, why is it like virtually directly on the line? I can't understand how they all aren't in the same articulated places on the pitch. It's
crazy that every stadium doesn't have a camera, same camera angles. They have to have all the same camera angles. Why wouldn't they?
Rob, quickly now. Rob, quickly now. Bruno Guimaraes' elbow, forearm on Jorginho, I would say. How's that? He's got away with it. You could see the intent he had. He came right after the ball was gone. He had no intention whatsoever to play the ball, smash him in the back of the head. They are like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a dirty thing to do. It's probably just kind of loud because it was on Jorginho because he's a hateful prick. But Bruno is an awful there's proper thing to happen in St James's Park where everyone's on your back, like the fans are all over you. Of course, the ref is going to take their side because then the refs are under pressure. But Bruno Guimaraes is another dirty player.
Dirty player, yeah. But I don't know how if that's a Casemiro, like E-boy's touching it. Like I know you bring up United. Like if you're right, if Casemiro or Granit Xhaka did that last season, 100% red. No one's in debate about it. There we go. Game.
The fact that Bruno Guimaraes didn't get carded till the 88th minute.
I know.
That's what I was going to say.
The fouls he made as well. Like he was a fucking disgust. And like they fucking lost last night.
At least
my own on the goal was given. I think it should have been a free out. I think the ball over the line, it's right not to be given because it's same. It's in rugby. Like you need a reason to not award it, an actual full reason. Like if it's inconclusive, you can't give it. But what is Raya doing for it though?
Awesome.
He needs to be criticised. Like, I think he needs to come out. I think he's been making some mistakes. I think he needs to come out. He's not the first time for crosses either. He's been He's been
And
gone missing.
once he catches up all deals with it, that's it done. No problems at all.
Yeah.
You know,
Slapped it,
No,
didn't
he has been. Yeah, he has been caught out quite a lot this season.
I don't think Ray is solving
I don't
or
understand
proving
how
any points
Ramsdale.
for
Yeah,
Arteta. I think it's Arteta's
like,
ego and stubbornness now that he brought him in to do this. He's failing, and Arteta is too stubborn now
like
to go
Ramsdale
back
didn't
to
make
him.
any real mistakes, and then he
He
got
made
dropped. You know
he
what I
made a
mean?
bit, but
Well, he made a
Like,
few last
he
season.
made
and
a
he's
few
conceded-
now.
Well,
but-
last season, but
every
he
game in a
started
row.
the season pretty well.
Yeah,
and
well,
he,
that,
you look at the
like 10
back
games
four.
in a row, though.
Sorry,
Last season, he conceded like 10 games in a row last season.
I know, but
I mean, sure.
but he did decent enough. And Dan is right. I didn't think he did too much wrong for the start of the season to
No, I'm
warrant
not
him
a
being
hater.
replaced. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm just saying. So I think Reyes proving that he's not the answer, or if he, well, then again, if he's the answer, what was the question? To be honest with you,
Yeah,
but
100%.
We don't know behind the scenes. He couldn't. He might
Something
be training
strange,
badly
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, maybe you never know. All right, so Arsenal versus Burnley. Aaron, predictions.
Yeah, I'd say 4-0. Anything less is probably not good enough.
Oisin
I would have said 4-0 too. Yeah.
and Rob.
3-0 Burnley. I know, 5-0 United. Or 5-0
Just fucking good. 5-0 Arsenal. Right. Yeah, I'll probably agree with Rob there. 5-0 Arsenal, I think. Yeah, I think we'll start strong. As long as we don't fuck ourselves in the ass like we usually do at home, give away a stupid goal, I think we'll do pretty well. All right, moving on then. We're going to go to Selhurst Park. Be an interesting game. Crystal Palace at home to Everton. Rob, I'm going to start with you with this one. Both teams slightly different form. Palace won last week against Burnley. Everton have been putting in some decent performances lately. If they win, they'll go up to 13th place in Premier League, which would be huge for them. They're already, I think, 5 points ahead of the relegation candidates. They're Bournemouths and your Burnleys and such. So yeah, like Everton on the last, the viewing of the last couple of games, they're doing well. They're improving.
Yeah, they're doing okay, but they're due a bad beating every now and again. I don't think this will be it, but I do think they'll lose anyways. Palace are pretty structured at home, and according to my sources, Etsa will be back. I'm not sure with that, but
who's your source? Name him.
I can't. They're Gonards. Yeah, I think Palace will still do them. Everton, like, you don't know what Everton are going to show up like. They could be an absolutely brilliant team that wins 2-1 or an awful team that loses 2-0. Like.
Yeah. Oisin, quickly on Everton. Calvert-Lewin staying fit. It's huge. It's proven huge for them. He gives them that focal point. I know they brought in Beto over the summer, and he looks decent, but he just now that Calvert-Lewin is fit, Everton kind of have that purpose to their game again, and he's been playing well.
I wonder, is it because they brought him Beto? Maybe is that a kind of spark under his arse to get him going after his injury? Now, of course, he was unfortunate for the injury he got at the start of the season, but he's doing well. They need him to do well, but they also need him to stay fit. So he's liable to fall over his own shoelaces now and be out for 2 months. So they need to keep him fit. They're in okay form. Look, I think we'll see where they'll be come December. If they can stay within 14th, 15th, they'll be safe.
Yeah. Right. Predictions, Aaron.
To be honest, I have a feeling Dominic Calvert-Lewin will get injured at the weekend. It's just one of those games where it's dirty, I think he will get hit hard and injured. You can't really go against Palace at home, I don't think. Especially, you can if it's a bigger team, but when it's someone like Everton, I don't think so. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Palace. 2-0 actually. 2-0.
2-0. All right, Oisin.
Draw 0-0. I don't think this will be a high scoring game. I'm just going to go 0-0 to be safe.
Yeah, and Rob.
I think 1-0, and I don't expect many people to actually watch it. I think one to pass off. One for the purists, I suppose.
1-0 Palace.
1-0 Palace.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with Oisin. It won't be a high scoring game. Both teams, Palace struggling for goals at the minute. Everton coming up, pretty well. So I think probably 1-1 will be a fair result in this game. All right, Old Trafford up next. Man United against Luton Town. You're looking at Man United needing a bounce back after tonight's result in the Champions League. They won last weekend 1-0 against Fulham, a tough place to go, Craven Cottage. They got away with a 90th minute Bruno winner, Aaron. They'll need a big result this weekend.
Yeah, if you're going based on Premier League, we're going so great, but tonight we're just off the end of an absolute rotter of a game. So I'm getting sick of watching United, to be honest with you. It's just nothing but depressing. But we are going to hammer Luton on Saturday. We're going to hammer them. So,
God.
I hope.
Luton
I
1-0 confirmed. So. There it is. Luton 1-0.
So. I just like. For me, it just seems to be going more and more like we just can't do anything right at the moment. It's very unfortunate. I don't see it getting better either, to be honest with you, because
no, I was just going to say that
it's just like every time we seem like every time we score, we just go up and we concede again. Like it's just I can't make heads or tails. But I could have told you before tonight. I could have told you we were going to fuck up that game somehow. I wanted to believe we weren't, but I could have told you we were going to fuck up.
Yeah.
It's
just do you want to follow up with that?
Yeah, I hope we hammer Luton, but it's just the way we're going lately. It's just we could score 2 and concede 3 in the space of the same amount of times it took us to score 2. We're just at that phase of our season, of our fucking lives, really. We're like.
We are on the same amount of points as last season, though. To be fair,
oh yeah, okay, fair enough. But we're still
it's a bit of a match.
We were 9 losses in 17 games. We haven't done that, and I don't know how. Like I don't get not my lifetime anyway. But I think the only the good thing I saw tonight was Garnacho, Ramos, and Rashford. I like that before Rashford's sending off, that was working well, and Wan-Bissaka coming back is a big miss. I think Dalot. I've been saying it for the last few games, and I'm fucking sick of him.
Wan-Bissaka back is a big miss.
Coming back,
coming back is after a big miss. Sorry, I was meant to say. Wan-Bissaka back is good for the team because he's a good player, good defender. Dalot, like the sooner we get a left back fit, the fucking better. Because
we are down another man tonight as well.
I know, Johnny Evans. Yeah, so
going from bad to worse.
Yeah. Rob, do you want to add anything there to United?
Yeah, I have to say Varane looks absolutely fucking desperate. It looks like
what's going on with him? Like he can't fucking pass out at all.
No,
aging.
Altogether.
Is he aging? But fuck me, this
I'd like game. I don't know why, like saying the game earlier on. I know it's more Premier League review, but why Kobe Manu didn't come on at some stage to bolts up the midfield. Bruno was pushed right. Bruno going right doesn't work when you have 11 men. I don't know why.
When you're doing 10 men, I know. I said that. What the fuck?
Game management is terrible. I'm not going to justify it anymore. Now, I don't want him gone. I want him to stay for fucking long time and have a nice, fruitful career at United. But his game management is shocking. Another bad decision there. But Luton Town, look, I keep wanting to say like, we look at the next 4 or 5 games, got a nice run. Just take it game by game. Just get in, beat Luton. Keep a clean sheet, a couple of goals, where it's 2 goals or 3 goals. Just get it done, and we'll go again. Like, there's no point saying, if we can look at the next 6 games and get 15 points. Like, there's no point doing it anymore.
All right, quickly touching on Luton Town. Great result at home against Liverpool last weekend. 1-1. They maybe should have held on a bit. The goal they conceded came from a few mistakes. They tried to clear it, couldn't get away. They'll take quite a bit of confidence in that game, but. They might be playing Man United at the right time. You never know. But depends on, Luton away from home haven't been overly fantastic either. Aaron, go to you for predictions.
I think I touched on it. 5-0, hopefully. That's what I want.
5-0 Man United. Yeah. Oisín.
I want to say 1-0, but I'm going to say 3-0.
3-0 United. Rob?
I got 2-0 United.
I'm going to say 3-1 United. I think Luton might score. They might snatch a little goal. 3-1 United. Next up then, Vitality Stadium, Bournemouth at home to Newcastle. Newcastle fresh off controversial win against Arsenal at the weekend. Bournemouth beaten 6-1 at the Etihad, like a lot of teams have been. They probably won't take too much confidence from this game against Newcastle either, just based on the way Newcastle have been playing recently.
And they're going to be facing a Newcastle team just off the back of a loss midweek. So, Bournemouth are like this. I don't know. They're a nothing team this season, really. I don't think too many teams are worried about them. This Newcastle team won't, but they'll brush them aside. I think fairly handy. I don't think. Then again, Newcastle are missing a good few players. No, fuck it, no. Newcastle brushed them aside fairly handy. This Bournemouth team is not worth a shit. So yeah, like there's Anthony Gordon. I think he's going to come up trumps in this game. This is the sort of game these are the sort of players he likes to come up against. I can see him getting a goal and assist or an assist or both.
His own championship level.
Yeah,
exactly.
Fucking little rat.
Is that a fantasy tip?
Yeah, well,
Captain.
I actually have him in my team. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
I actually have him in my draft as well. I fucking hate him. Rob, Bournemouth have lost 4 of the last 5 games. You can't see them getting anything this game.
Realistically, no. And I think I've proudly shat on Bournemouth at every opportunity I could as well. So I'm going to continue to shit on them. They're a shit team full of championship players, and they deserve to rightfully go down. I think there'll be a nice few goals from Newcastle.
Yeah. Right, Aaron, predictions.
Yeah, Newcastle, they did win against Arsenal, but they weren't actually that great either. So I don't know. It's hard to know, really. I know Bournemouth are fucking shite, but yeah, you never know with it being at the Vitality. You just never know. But anyway, probably still a Newcastle win, maybe 2-0.
2-0. Oshin?
4-1.
Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle, yeah.
Rob?
3-0 Newcastle.
I think probably 3-0 Newcastle as well. I mean, they've been lucky with the decisions they've got recently. Even against Wolves, they got a dubious enough penalty. We won't get into the Arsenal one again, but I think probably, 3-0 Newcastle. I think Bournemouth are just terrible at the moment. Villa Park, then Aston Villa going to look to make it 13 wins at home in a row. Rob, start with you quickly. Aston Villa against Fulham. Fulham are a strange team. They play well sometimes, and then they just can't seem to get the results they maybe deserve. Like, I think against United as well, they had a couple of chances. Onana made some fantastic saves, don't get me wrong. Just the Bruno winner, touching on that real quick. Just a bit of sloppy defending. They tried to clear it, they couldn't clear it, and then Bruno, really good goal.
You can't talk a team up for having chances against United, because who doesn't have chances against United? They're just so bad defensively. So Fulham, they're not scoring the goals, and that shows it that showed it even more against United. Everyone scores goals against United. Fulham didn't. It's just their team isn't great. Tim Ream, he hasn't been living up to his all-star name.
Your standards, is it?
He's a good player. He nearly kept a clean sheet against us, for fuck's sake. I think Villa should. I don't want to say walk it, because they did struggle a bit against Luton, but it's hard to see them not scoring. Like, it's hard not to see them score more than 2 or 3 goals, though, because they're so home generally.
Yeah, like Aaron, we know how good Villa are at home. But last week they lost 2-0 away to Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest were very good, don't get me wrong, but Villa, that will probably take them back, like knock them back a little bit, maybe. Fulham, don't get me wrong, are not a terrible team. They don't get the results, but they're not a overly terrible team by any means.
Yeah, Villa fans will tell you, like, they hate playing Forest. They hate them in the Championship as well. So like, it's a shock result, but like, it's something that Villa fans might have foreseen, kind of, in that kind of way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a team that they know. It's a team that they know. So yeah, but like, as I always go back to, I keep saying Villa at home, Villa at home, Villa at home. They are just that good at home. So I don't think I see it hard for Fulham to win.
Yeah. All right, we'll jump into predictions for that one. Do you want to start with predictions, Aaron?
Yeah, I think another 3-0, maybe something like that.
3-0 Villa. Oshin?
Yeah, I think 2-0 Villa.
And Robert?
I think 2-0 to the Villains as well.
Yeah, I think they'll continue that run at home that they have. So probably 2-1. I think their defense has kind of been a bit shaky in recent games, so Fulham might snatch a goal. All right, next up then to the Amex. Brighton are going to be home to Sheffield United. Sheffield United fresh off their first win in the Premier League last week against Wolves, rather controversially. Was it the 100th minute, even though there was only 6 minutes added on? Oshin, do you want to start with this? Brighton, we touched on it last week. They have scored and conceded in every single game this season, the first thing to ever do it. You maybe would expect them to keep a clean sheet this week.
Nope. No, not at all. No, I don't think so at all. I think Sheffield United have shown, especially recently, they can score, but at Brighton have shown that defensively they're very unstable this season for whatever reason. I do think they'll score. I think they'll win. But no, I don't think they'll get a clean sheet. Nothing in their team or their defence suggests to me that they're going to keep a clean sheet anytime soon. Estepinian might be back for this game. That's a good player to have back, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah, Rob, it's kind of unfortunate for Sheffield United, off the back of such a big win, to have to go to the Amex, so that we all know is a very, very tough place to go. Their confidence might be short-lived.
Yeah, but they know they're going to have an entertaining match of football. Anyways, there's something to look forward to for the fans. There will be goals. It's just kamikaze football from Brighton, so they could definitely catch them in the hop. I will predict, a Brighton win, maybe 3-1, but I would not be surprised if Sheffield come up trumps in this one and De Zerbi gets a bit of pressure on him. Not that he gets that, like, to change something, because it is coming. They're just dodgy how they're going now. Like,
Brighton have only won one game domestically since September 24th. They won once in that whole period, in Europe included. That was against Ajax last week or week before. So they desperately need a result. Aaron, do you want to quickly touch on Brighton?
Of course, they fucking beat us and then turn into a shy team. Yeah, I don't know what the story is going on there at the moment. It seems to be all going wrong after praising Brighton for so long.
Yeah.
Robert's right, but it's kamikaze football. They're just living and dying by trying to play out this, intricate one-touch pass in football, and it's not really working anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you put it down to players getting tired? I train too much running around. I don't know. It's hard to know, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's happening there. Maybe the players they have just aren't able for that. I don't know. Like, they brought in a lot of attacking players during the summer. I know they brought in, like, the Hood, and who's not really the most technical player in the world. Like, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe the players just aren't capable of it.
But they're still doing the thing where they're, particularly on their backs, they're waiting for the attackers to come right upon them before they get the pass away, and they're still, they're still getting tagged. Yeah, so
it comes down to nearly, was Caicedo that good for them?
Yes,
that's a good point. Actually, yeah, it's a very good point.
Yeah. And neither are shown that they're great form for their club, but I don't know. Like, is it a case they're losing two big players like that? They're trying to reintegrate these new players into that style of system, even though the faults seem to be coming from the back. I don't know. It's a strange one.
Yeah,
they probably just really suited De Zerbi, and now they're not performing elsewhere.
Absolutely. Right, predictions, Rob. You went 3-1 Brighton, correct? So, Aaron.
Hard to know. It's Sheffield United. Sorry, excuse me. I think 2-1 Brighton. Fuck it. 2-0.
2-0. All right, Oisin.
I would have said 2-1. 2-1. Yeah, I still think they'll concede. 2-1
Brighton. I think they'll get the clean sheet. I think it'll be 2-0. 2-0 Brighton. Maybe more above. Yes.
Brighton home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. 2-3-0. Yeah.
All right, to Anfield next. Liverpool at home to Brentford. Promises to be a very, very good game. Rob, start with you. Brentford on the back of 3 wins on the bounce. Good result against West Ham last weekend. We've seen Liverpool away to Luton Town. They weren't at their best. They're missing a lot of big chances, and Brentford are the sort of team to kind of capitalise on the home teams not playing too well. We've seen against Chelsea recently. They'll sit back, they'll play their own game, and then they'll wait until second half, if they're still in the game, to go out and start playing their game and go hell for leather.
Yeah, proper kind of 5-3-2 formation, just so good pressure and overload the opposition attacking side, and just play on the break with Wisa and Mbeumo for two pacey players. Might not be the best of strikers overall, but they get the job done, especially without Tony. Yeah. But their team is very, very, it's very much the same as it was last season. The only difference is Visa and Nathan Collins, who's a fantastic purchase from Wolves. Yeah. He's a great young player, fits in well to the back five.
One player for Brentford who's having a fantastic season, maybe under the radar a little bit, is Matthias Jensen.
Yeah.
He's getting goals, he's getting assists this season. He's doing very, very well. He's always been on my fucking bench in fantasy and he never plays, but
good.
I've seen the potential. Actually, quickly on Liverpool, we've seen Darwin Núñez, especially last game, just missing sitter after sitter after sitter. But the thing is, he's getting in these positions, and maybe it's only a matter of time before he actually, starts banging in. He can get 20 goals a season.
How many times are you going to say that though?
Well, there you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been in the league long enough now. If he's world class, he'd be putting these away. Like some of the chances he missed were terrible. Like the one that Salah the one Salah misheaded and it went over to him, and he's like 4 yards out and he skied it. I was slated in pro clubs for doing it, but
still on fraud watch. He's still on fraud watch.
Yeah. Like he is for sure. Like remember the game before as well. Like he hit the post like a open goal from was it just at the 6-yard line.
Yeah.
I was traumatized for that. Like he's mad. Like because he'd be liable to bang in some fucking screamers in one game, get a hat, get 2 or 3.
I've seen it in the cup against Bournemouth. He scored a screamer.
Yeah, and then he just missed his those. I can't understand what goes through his mind. Like it's like Klopp must be sometimes sitting at the end of these games and these happen thinking, what the fuck do we spend this
all
money
that's
on?
In his mind is that clapping monkey 100%. That fucking
Nunes.
Yeah.
But like he's not the answer. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season Liverpool went out and got another striker just because they can't rely on him.
That could be could be interesting. Yeah. But
maybe.
Yeah,
well, they're going to have to get an attacker. Well, I don't know, but they're going to have to get someone because they're definitely losing Salah at the end of the year. You're not going to put Nunes out to the right. So they're definitely going to need an attacker, and they're potentially going to need 2 because if he keeps missing these opportunities.
Well, you can put Nunes on the left, though, and get a new right winger. Maybe.
Diaz on the left there doing very well. But
put Cody Gakpo on the right, but he's
Gakpo, They've given themselves a little bit of a problem at the same time, Liverpool. They've all these attacking players, and they predominantly play the same player, the same position.
I don't know. I haven't seen much of him. He was
injured. Not just back from an injury.
Yeah, he was injured for a while.
Against in the international thing, maybe picked up an injury, but I think he's only coming back.
Nobody's talking about him at all. He's
not really doing anything.
We were raging, we didn't get him. Yeah, but sure, he's also on fraud watch. There's a lot of money spent on him.
Yep. Right, predictions for this game, Aaron.
I think it's going to be a score fest. I think it's going to be whoever can score more, but Liverpool are at home, so I would say I just feel 3-2 is coming at me, so something like that.
That's why I was thinking that as well. Yeah.
So was I. What can I know? I said 3-2, but I just don't know who to who the 3 is going to be for. You know what I mean? Like it's for the shits and giggles. I'm going to say Brentford because fuck Liverpool. But I think I agree with Aaron. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in it, but not much between them.
Yeah, Rob.
I think 2-2.
2-2. All right. I think it's Xavier. I think probably 3-2. 3-2 to Liverpool. I think goal fest 100%. All right. Next up to the London Stadium, West Ham hosting Nottingham Forest. West Ham just are bleeding results right now. They just can't get a win. We talked about after the first 3 games they were playing so well. They were second or third in the league. After those 3 games, they've only got 7 points from 8 games, which is shocking, really unacceptable for West Ham and David Moyes especially. Nottingham Forest on the back of a good win against Aston Villa. Rob, start with you for this one. Tough game for West Ham.
Well, it'll be a tough game for both sides, anyways, regardless of West Ham kind of bleeding a bit and Forest.
I think West Ham have more pressure on them to get a result. I think the fans probably on their back to win the game. If it gets to 60, 70 minute and it's a draw. The fans will be on the back a little bit.
Yeah, Forest are a dodgy team this year. They've shown that after beating Villa last week, to push United fairly hard early on as well, scraping some
and Arsenal as well. First game.
But also losing some bad games as well. The other side, it's a weird one. I think West Ham will pull through. They'll get back on track with this one. I don't think Forest. It's just one of those weird games where it's it's hard to. You can see every outcome on it, without being excited by any of them. Yeah. But I think it'll be a home win for West Ham.
Yeah. Oisín, like I said, West Ham not in the best grain of form. Does David Moyes need a win more so from this game?
On paper, he probably does, because you are right. They haven't got many results, but a lot of them they've been very unfortunate too. They've been extremely unfortunate in some of the games, but I think it'll be a tough game for both. Nottingham Forest, the thing about Nottingham Forest, you don't expect much of them, so therefore you can't be disappointed in a sense. And then they pull out results like that, and you're kind of not surprised at the same time. The result against Villa, but I wouldn't say it go as far as to say that West Ham need a result, but I expect them to.
Yeah.
Well, like one of the results in that last 5 is a 3-0 defeating of title contenders Arsenal. You forgot to leave. You left that
I was
out.
in the EFL Cup. It doesn't
they're
count.
not going too bad.
Doesn't count. EFL Cup.
They're not
It
going
was
too
3-1.
bad.
It was 3-1. It was 3-1.
It still happened. It still happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only one because we scored an own goal and then we couldn't defend for
But like
other 2 goals. But
you're right. No, but you are right. Though, overall, they are struggling. Not even in Europe they can get a result. Like so. Yeah,
it's hard to know. Right, Aaron, with that, predictions.
I think West Ham will still get a win 2-1.
Yeah. Oisin?
I think 2-0 West Ham.
And Rob?
I think 2-1 to West Ham in the battle of former European champions.
Okay. I think Nottingham Forest definitely get a goal out of it, maybe 2. Like Awaniyi is back as well. I don't know if he's back to full 90 minutes, but he's always a danger for Forest. So maybe 2 or 3-1. 3-1 West Ham, I'd say. 3-1 West Ham. Right, last game of game week, Stamford Bridge, Chelsea at home to Man City. Man City have won 6 of the last meetings between the 2 teams. Aaron, start with you real quickly on this one. Just based on City won the last 6. Haaland seems to have shrugged off whatever injury he picked up against Bournemouth last week in a 6-1 win. I can see probably a heavy defeat for Chelsea here.
I agree, to be honest. Well, maybe not heavy, but they're definitely going to... I don't think they're going to win. Well, yeah, it's hard to know. No, look, Chelsea at home is Chelsea at home at the end of the day. Like, they are under their own crowd, so maybe they can conjure up some sort of result, but it is hard to bet against City, realistically. So, I don't know. You have your man, what's his name, the young City player now, Palmer. He may want to get revenge or against
one
his
over
former
from
club. Yeah, that kind of way that it's written in the headlines for that to happen. So you never know.
Yeah, Oisin, anything to add?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it in Stamford Bridge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just Stamford Bridge.
To be honest with you, that means fuck all.
It does mean, because you see against like the 9 men at Tottenham, Chelsea still weren't overly fantastic last week.
No.
Like, they haven't been fantastic in a lot. The only time I've seen them play really well was the first 45 minutes against Arsenal. They were phenomenal. That's all I've seen them play. The best they play.
I think in fairness, City got a chance to rest some of their players against young boys yesterday. But like touching on the game
when you
against
talk
Bournemouth,
about young boys for.
Sorry about that. The Doku, like he's been in good form. I think having Grealish back is a big plus. And then they'll have Alvarez because he didn't play at midweek. Rodri didn't play midweek, so I think it'll be very comfortable. I actually don't see Chelsea scoring. I'd like to see Cole Palmer score. I actually don't like the kid. I think he's a bit of a fucking
I think he was a prick.
Yeah. But I do like seeing young players scoring against their old clubs. I like that vibe. But no, I think City will. I think it'll be like the United game. I think Chelsea will be so fucking calm and composed throughout this game. They'll just flow through the game, flow through the motions.
Yeah. Just lastly, Rob, real quick now. We talked about this, the run of games that Chelsea have. The teams are playing. But to come out with that, the first 3 games of 6 games that they had, the bad run. They've gotten, 4 points out of it. So draw against Arsenal, loss against Brentford, and then win against Spurs. Can they maybe sneak something?
I hope not. As much as I absolutely hate City, I hope City fucking go and batter the fuck out of them. I hope to 5 or 6 past them, especially in Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Just to keep that one guy who batters the roof. Hope to keep him quiet for the game.
yeah.
Agenda.
But yeah, like Chelsea are so bad.
He does hate Chelsea, to be fair.
Yeah, he does.
The Spurs game, they were so bad. Like Spurs, Spurs were still the better team. Like how did a man that scored a hat trick? How was he the second worst player on the pitch?
Yeah.
It's so long to realize.
Got a hat trick, got 6.7. Yeah.
It took them so long to realize that all they need to do is cut back. Like it's crazy.
And the thing as well is, if you think about Spurs game, we didn't touch on it earlier. If Son had scored that goal to make it 2-2, only for a goal to the other end of the pitch to make it 3-1.
Yeah, I said that. I touched on it. I said that.
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Apologies. Yeah. Like that game.
I was saying the high line nearly worked. Like it did nearly work, to be fair.
Yeah. like that game was 2-2, and like we're having a completely different conversation then. So
yeah, definitely.
Everyone's licking fucking Jackson's ass because he scored a hat trick. He was asked the whole game. He missed so many opportunities. Like when he got the hat trick, he got the ball. It was basically a clean shot against on Vicario.
That's the first time
fucking
Jackson's ever gotten me good points. I have him in my draft since the start, and not because like I don't know. It's not like it's a bad choice or anything, but he's just shy.
Yeah. All right. Predictions, Aaron.
Yeah. Stamford Bridge. I don't know. Still probably 3-0, 3-1, 3-1. 3-1 City.
City. Yep. Pushing.
3-0 City.
And Robert.
5-0 City.
Very good. I think Chelsea score. I think probably 4-1 City. I think Chelsea do score. All right, that's going to do it for us here on the Horny Football Podcast. I want to thank Oisín, I want to thank Aaron and Rob as well for all their input tonight. I want to thank you all for watching as well. Do let us know down in the comments your thoughts and your predictions for Game Week 12. Do also look for us on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram as well. And you can leave a like and a follow on our videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you all next week. Don't forget, stay horny.